They only have 3 map wins. On the opposite side for LAG, with the W over Optic, the way that they did it, 2 hard points closing out in the game. Number 5, Johnny having an insane performance from start to finish of that one. They actually have a chance at potentially starting in the winners bracket if they can put themselves into that tie with the W here. And I really think that LAG, with the form that they showed versus Optic, stand a pretty good chance of taking down this Boston roster, because still, all throughout this stage, Boston can't figure out what map they want to add to their 3rd map in hardpoint. They tried Red Card, doesn't work. They tried Skyline, doesn't work. Now let's give Rewind a go, because they're starting to fall behind in maps that they were really strong on in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, need something quickly. Whereas for LAG, they've been one of the best hardpoint teams so far this stage, which is again crazy to see. But we got LAG, we got Boston, and we've got Kismet kicking us off with the knife. Let's get it on.
Early action already in towards the Gen side. The ARs from Boston holding down the mid-street area, and they have yet to be able to flip those spawns if you are LAG. But now with the gunny, the SMGs flying through the middle of the map. They go 3 for 1, make it 3 for 2. Spawns still do not flip, but LAG soaking up the time.
Yeah, really good stuff. Just Kismet right off the get-go, kind of keeping the same form that he had when they'd played up against Optic previously. That's always good to see, I think, especially considering that if there were to be a member on this LAG team that is going to have some extenuating career-long possible championships, it would be that guy right there. 6-1 start for Kismet. LAG off to a strong start, now trying to make their way over to the left side of the map for this P2.
Okay, looking for this break attempt through the back end. Awakening already starts off the initial kill. A good stun connects there for Purge, and at least sets up Awakening there for the double. So spawns are secure for Boston. They're going to be able to soak up a majority of this early time, because you can already see LAG on your minimap. They're putting a lot of focus on trying to flip these spawns out. Not any pressure through the front.
Yeah, Wake has got himself in a great position on this back corner on the police car. Trophy system trying to keep him safe. Tries to find the timing of LAG's hit. Not able to really secure anything, though. So now it's on to Cammy inside the hard point. Purge assisting on the cut around the back, but he only finds the one. Spawns not moved yet, but Lunar's working on that as he finds another elimination. Snoopy not able to find him. Pistol out, nearly finds the win, but not quite. And we got a little bit of a block of the spawns on the back, while Lunar's is on 3 in a row.
He's still finessing back here. The fact that he's able to make 3 kills out of absolutely nothing, when all of his teammates are spawning all the way across the map, you give your squad a chance to at least not give up that full 20 seconds in favor of Boston. But Purge, the same thing that Lunas just did, he did it on the opposite side to walk away with the jump time. So now off the rotation to new, Boston already have 2 players in the proper position that they want to be, and LAG currently playing from the back foot.
And look at the pinch here from Boston. Complete awareness on where exactly this LAG team is, but they lose out the battle over towards driveway, and now it's just on to Awakening, trying to hold from inside the site, and he's got to worry about both sides at the same time. Lunar's able to trade him out of the hard point. Inside goes Johnny, and he'll find another kill to get LAG in for some time.
And that's something about that pinch right there. Like, if you're Cammy, you got to be able to communicate that with your teammates, because if you're going on that route, someone needs to dedicate themselves to blocking those back spawns, because when your teammates get a couple kills in the middle of the map, or you fall on that side, then LAG get blessed with the P4 to P5 chain that they were looking to get. But Boston already find the kills in the middle of the map, able to flip it out with the final 20 seconds still at P3, and now LAG are going to cut their losses, work through 18.
Yeah, this is a big moment here early for LAG after a strong start. They have been a little bit late on rotation, mostly off of the fact that they just weren't able to get anything going at 2, and then they really weren't able to get a good setup around 3. So this is a key moment here for LAG to get kind of out of this pattern and trend of being the team that has to break. And as you kind of see it in the minimap, hardpoint opens up, and LAG not able to secure spawn, so they're going to have to break again as we head to beepers.
Yeah, Lunas has got to take his time. Farthest player pushed on up, but he is going to get isolated. Snoopy with some great shots. Awakening on 5 in a row. Last 2 players from the Gorilla mates working the way through the 18 Willa. They do get past the first line of defense in Purge, but here comes Cammy, able to line up a double, sets up his teammate for the 3rd kill, and this is looking like a flawless 60 here from Boston.
And Big Wake has made a statement here really since that P2. 14-5, 7 in a row, eventually gets taken down, but again, you see the score. The lead for Boston starts to become astronomical here early. As we look to kind of rotate once again, the battle starts to range back over towards that upside dumpsters area, but it's still not going to work out for LAG, continuing to get pushed back, and that's nearly full 60 for Boston.
Yeah, you got to give it up. Now, if you're LAG, you got to bank on a nice Chen's hold here at the P5 area, pull out an extra SSD trade, a little bit more chaos. But now you're down by 80. A tall ladder to climb yourself back into this game. Long routes being developed on the side of Boston, but they're not really finding kills to successfully set up these pinches. Finally, they get 3 in the feed. Last man standing is going to be Johnny. He's got to do it all.
Gets the first. Fellow trying to cut it back across over the inside of shelves at DVD. Catches one to try to get some breathing room into play here for LAG, but it doesn't fully work out. And yeah, Kismet not able to double down. Allows the SMGs for Boston to break on in, and they absolutely rip apart this LAG setup. Johnny able to keep at least something at the front doors, but Boston's still pretty comfortable with Purge on the pinch. And again, it just keeps reducing this hit for LAG to minimal numbers. Finally a chance to contest. Maybe one more 1v1. Fellow gonna push that one forward, and LAG can get some time here in the scrap 15.
Yeah, but still, it's going to be contested all the way to the very end. And now, with all the fights that are going down, there's only 10 seconds still remaining here at Gen. So Boston doing a great job of just not allowing LAG back into this game off of that money hill. You're currently almost up by 100. We're going into the reset here at P1 again. Boston is feeling himself. Let's step aside and go to listening with the Breach Boys.
Or he's going Gens.
Two learners, bro.
Red or Gens.
Yeah, I'm
Coming to you.
working on
Stay there, Joe, honestly.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I hear him. Give him
Just keep going there, Joe. Watch out, mid. Lunars on time. Lunars on time. Lunars.
Pushing P blue. He's P2 gonna hit blue.
Nice.
Johnny
Lunars on
blue.
time.
It's
One P2, guys. I cut blue. I'm not blue, right? Oh yeah, deep pit.
I want that blue.
Blue, Johnny. Really weak.
He back red. Red and P2, Johnny.
Hey, red.
Pitcher's got red.
I hear
He's
you.
not wrapped
Johnny,
deep,
Johnny,
guys.
Johnny.
Not wrapped deep.
Yeah,
Blue.
yeah.
I'm playing towards new.
Here.
Yo, back. Yo, Johnny's in the back, boys.
Mystery.
Johnny's deep back.
Nice job,
They're
Jen.
still gonna split though, I think.
Yeah, it might have.
Yeah, Johnny's deep back, boys, okay?
Here.
I'm gonna go through Burger. Come through
Yeah,
Burger.
yeah.
Chop me out. He's red.
Here.
Could go blue, maybe.
Do we back Burger?
Listen, bro. One's back DVD. One more DVD.
Back
Right.
His DVD, okay?
Play for us.
Deep, bro.
You
He
can
might have
play
went
for us.
cube. He might have went cube. I don't think anyone's in
I'm
DVD.
coming,
Okay.
I hear him.
I spawned close, bro. They would spawned out too.
Yeah, I am him.
Yo, deep back, boys. Think he's in the cube. I got naded.
Top
Win
time.
deep back.
I'm done.
I'm trying to
Nice.
keep.
Deep cube.
Yo, front, Lunar.
Super great.
Nice.
Nice.
Shit.
One, alright, take your time, take your time,
Lunar's
take your
pushed
time.
up. No, you got me, bro. He's pushed up. He's close.
Close on me.
Yep. This
Close
Lunar's
really weak.
Nice.
Johnny,
Shit, boys.
front, front,
Step
front,
back.
front,
Come back. Side you pop, yeah.
Green crate.
On the green crate, yeah. Front side time, boys.
Green crate. And we got
Still on the green crate. Yeah, okay. He's not challenged.
I pinch.
All that band native blue. Johnny's getting native blue, guys.
Mid street.
Hey, I'll be green crate.
One could in the back.
I spawned out one to the back.
Two blue guys. Johnny and Lunar.
Johnny weak.
You guys put me all spawns.
One on me, then.
Nice, good shit,
Good shit, boy.
Fucking shit,
We're gonna be
man.
front,
I'm
okay?
wrapping left. I'm left.
Listen, first guy's fellow. It's fine. Just keep ripping it. I have corner glass, okay? I'm in a corner glass. They can't be
Fellow
P1.
on new. Fellows on new, boys.
Can't be P1, bros.
Here.
Fellow on new still.
Or J.
Pushing on new.
P1.
Fellow on new. There's two on new. It's fellow and Lunar's on new.
On your Lunars. I'm on series, I'm sure.
Okay,
Go for it. Go for it. I'm on glass.
They try to get my middle.
They can be jumping. All right. They can be jumping. All right.
I'm mid, bro. One shot.
Fellow Burger head.
Yo, one thing on you, like,
Pushing Burger.
Live, Joe. Live.
Yeah, I spawned out. One Burger on us. I'm wrapping.
Camera pinch.
on top Lunars then.
Nice, good
Nice.
shit.
I'm wrapping Burger, bro.
In the back of me,
Try not to go block the spawn.
Yeah, no, we can get away from those spawn.
He wants from
Oh,
behind
yo,
it, so.
kiss me, Johnny. Yo, stop her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stop her. Stand down.
I've got
I'm one shot, yeah.
Is that one's be behind us now?
I got naded, bro.
Blue learners. Middle.
In the back, so.
That's one still, boys. I got deep spawn. Find you Burger.
And we got Burger Street.
Johnny,
Johnny,
work the right, guys. I'm working the right.
we good.
I'm working the right, guys.
I'm needing over.
One be out mid.
Over you, Joe.
Yep, remember, girl.
Turn around mid, bro.
I went mid.
Well, the lead hasn't really moved too much. LAG trying to keep themselves involved here, Jay, but again, they're just running out of time and they have to win this rotation new.
Oh yeah, this is the only way back into this game. You need this P4 rotation, and already Boston have the numbers to bombard their way through the front door. Now it's all on Fellow. He's gonna get isolated, and as soon as that money hill pops, everyone falls at the worst time. Now Boston close it out here at P4.
Yeah, I really like just the route that Boston take there on that break too, just making sure that they get themselves not just one or two members, but all three players dominate over towards street. You have a little bit of a split spawn situation that Awakening can kind of follow up on, and there's just never an opportunity for LAG to get a read on how many members are hitting and where they're hitting from until it's too late. So 118, 238, things looking good for Boston. Last attempt here for LAG, shut down largely by Purge. Still gonna join the battle, throw the Semtexes, throw the nade, spam the front door. Boston should be good to take map number 1. And it's just such a weird situation with this Boston team, Jay, because like you said, they need a third map to add to their hardpoint pool. Sometimes they play this map like this and you go, okay, we like Rewind.
Yeah, like you said, man, it's just weird because it all depends on obviously who you're going up against. One of these squads in LAG, they had to have an insane comeback versus Optic 2 days ago where they were down by 100, needed a perfect P4, a perfect P5, and then traded over to a perfect P1. Sometimes the things are just not going to fall like that all the time. So Boston able to capitalize on it, dominating off the rotations. The one slip up that they had was at the P3 initially when they were pushed up too aggressive. Okami was trying to set up that pinch over towards Burger, and then his teammates are just not blocking the back. But still, even when that situation happens, LAG didn't make the most of that opportunity. They instantly flipped back on out, always a play from the back foot, and just really could not get anything going in that map. Number one, the ARs from Boston came out swinging, and when Snoopy is going between the AR and the SMG, putting up numbers like that, yeah, he's a lot to hit.
Yeah, you also had 12 objective kills for Purge with over a minute and a half in the hard point. So it's not even just the flexibility that you're seeing from players like Snoopy, but there's also a level of, if Awakening is dominating like he is, the SMGs know exactly where they need to be running around, and that's all on the inside of DVD and in these buildings here. And we saw, I think, Purge really kind of get good information, take advantage of low health pool members that are trying to hit from the outsides of the hills, whether that be at Gens or inside towards P1 at DVD. He's just been right there to make sure that any damage that's been tallied by his teammates is finished off for a kill. So really strong stuff for Boston. It's just such a paradox because when we watched them play Optic earlier in this qualifier, they couldn't hold a candle to what Optic was doing. So it's just, you know, get the reps in, get the experience in, and it looks like obviously against this LAG team, they had everything all figured out.
Yeah, losing is learning, man. Once you play this map one time, you get your ass whooped, and you spawn in the next time, and you're just like, okay, we're gonna make our proper adjustments, and that's what Boston were able to do there. And thankfully, they're able to do that there because this Boston form so far throughout this stage hasn't really been the best. They were 1-4 in HPs. They were 0-4 in controls. These are two things that they had figured out throughout stage 3. They were undefeated in controls. They were one of the top teams that we had in hardpoint. But when you're putting a lot more focus in just trying to expand your map pool consistently, trying to try maps that are not working for you, you're getting a little bit demoralized because you're not finding the success that you were hoping to find. But thankfully, a map one like that for Boston, you're going to go into this series up 1-0, and now you're going into a dealership where obviously this is another map that you need to work on.
Big time. And I think the other part about this is that was also LAG's hardpoint map selection. So now they're going on to their search pick. Like you said, though, it is a map that has come with mixed results. Most recently, a beatdown. 06 could not really do anything in their last matchup. They also had a 2-6 loss, I think, when the map had been re-added into the pool. But it's just trying to, again, figure out those little nuances, because it feels like when they play this map, they try to play it with a lot of tempo, but they don't do it in the same way that I think a lot of our most successful teams have. So there is a level of, again, needing to learn a little bit. And on top of that, there also needs to be a level of individuals need to start stepping up, because it really has felt like a lot of these Boston Search and Destroy losses this stage, most notably the one versus Thieves and the one before that against Surge. It was like playing a 2v4, and these numbers kind of support that. Purge and Awakening have not been good this stage.
Oh yeah, and they both have like two totally different play styles. Like Purge is the risky guy. Like he's the guy that's going to be the island player, looking for a timing, creating information for his teammates to develop a play after that. And when he's finding success, Boston's S&D is unbelievable. But when he's not, that's when they tend to struggle, always find themselves early into these rounds at a man disadvantage. And then with the way that Awakening plays on the other side, he's the guy that's just trying to watch over his teammates. Both of these guys have very impactful play styles when they are on point. It's just now being up 1-0 in the series, you're going to have a lot more confident going into this dealership search and destroy. So I'm expecting Purge to play as quick as he did and Awakening to dominate over towards his A presence.
Yeah, I think especially with how convincing the kills were for the side of Boston in that map number 1, you're feeling like you're gunning these guys out of their shoes. Yeah. So that has to happen. Other side of this though, and I will say, take some of these records that you're seeing on screen with kind of a grain of salt here, because yeah, there's been some mistakes that have happened, I think especially around the objective, but their overall record, just 2 search and destroy wins this stage, but a lot of them have been round 10 or round 11 losses. They've only had a couple of bad losses. That was versus Miami at the beginning of the stage. Otherwise, it's been kind of continual heartbreak, usually as a byproduct of making some mistakes around retakes or post plants. So we'll see if LAG can also clean things up, as Lunars will kick us off for first blood through the B window.
And I love the early play call there from LAG. We're taking this B side away from them. Screw mid-map. We will have the angles to attack it. And Lunar is able to find his second on a round. So now Purge and Awakening, the two guys we were talking about, you need to improve in S&E. They have a chance to do it here.
Yeah, if Wake can get a read and handle this push through, there's a chance that Purge can kind of burst out in towards mid-map and surprise the rest of this LAG setup. Awakening gets the read, finessing, dancing, not quite able to find the shots. But there's Purge pushing through garage, and look what that's done. It's completely had LAG on opposite sides of the map.
And look at that, how they're communicating. Awakening knows he still sort of has this one player trapped in towards the back, but Kismet is able to slip right by. He was trying to set up him and Purge to isolate onto this gunfight, but now Purge left in a 1v2. Just gonna try to hit this bomb down.
Yeah, put this 1v2 on your own terms, but Kismet's not gonna let that happen. And initially, yeah, I think you look at that from Boston's perspective, you lose the first two, but you get a good read on the push out from LAG. You just can't quite find Kismet, like you said, just too slippery, too quick. And just, again, playing with a level of confidence these last couple of days that we really haven't seen a lot of this stage.
Yeah, that's an insane amount of finesse right there, because Kismet knows, like, the guy knows exactly where I am. I'm just trying to move, stall out time. Hopefully my teammate to help me or for him to simply lose track of me. And thankfully, 99 Kids came out for an appearance. Was able to finesse, and locate two on that opening round there for LG to secure the first.
Nade's cooked up here for Fellow and Kismet, looking to get some action over at mid. No defense there. Instead, Purge is trying to break timing, and that's the kind of play that we've seen Purge try to pull off on Dealership. And it's either it's successful and it sets you up for a runaway round, or you just get blooded and it puts things more on even keel terms. But Snoopy Awakening still pushing forward, and they do actually clean things up, not allowing LAG to even look at a plant.
That's such a chaotic round. It's just like, all right, we lost the man advantage. We're going to try to make up for it by going for an insane chow. Thankfully, Cammy makes it a 3v3. Awakening pops the garage door open, finds a kill before it's instantly traded into a 2v2. And then the gunfight still going down at the A side. Soupy said, no, I want to have some fun. Not just fly out to the side, find the kill, and then we have the numbers to close out the round. That was a mixy A fight. Boston able to walk out on top.
Just kind of two stubborn bulls charging each other right there. A little bit of a different look here for Boston on this offensive attempt, just spreading the map and seeing what information they can find. Maybe a little bit weary about how Lunars was able to double up early through the middle of the map. Has Awakening primed and maybe ready for a gunfight from window to window. Don't know if he fully saw Johnny or not. Purge kind of holding his aim makes you believe that they know that he's there. And that's another one of those push-throughs that Purge gets punished on, and we've got an early 4v2 for LAG.
Yeah, it's just some of those risks that, like, this is what the guy wants to bring to the team. Like, he's not afraid of the chow. When you're losing those gunfights, it only makes it tougher for your teammates still alive. Thankfully, the movement from Snoopy, 6 HP in a dream. He's able to get out of dodge. Bomb is going to get planted as well. Yeah. And if Awakening can isolate this gunfight, a lot better chance for Boston to clutch up.
I was just about to say, LAG doesn't know 100% that that's going to be a commitment over to B just based on where that action at mid had happened. So they're late to the rotation. The isolation does come through. Now we got the 2v2, the rewrap underway for Boston. This is bold. They're going to get Snoopy into mid to play off the window. Awakening clearing out stereo, but no. Kismet finds the kill just down to Snoopy. Finds one for free. Now it's just the prediction of when and where does Lunars try to challenge this. And Snoopy can essentially just wait until there's only 8 seconds left. And yeah, there's just no way you mantle up against the SMG. And it's another low number situation that Boston make the most of.
Oh man, like that's a couple rounds there down where LAG, especially versus Optic, they found a lot of success in that first blood, but just couldn't play their numbers correctly after that. That's an insane round right there from Snoopy and Awakening. To clutch up in the 2v3, you get the bomb down, you get out of dodge with all the action that was going down to the middle of the map.
For real.
Plant it instantly, and then are able to instantly after that find an isolation gunfight onto Fellow, when in a 3v2, you need to be running around with your team to play a trade. But once he gets taken care of, Boston with the reposition through the middle of the map, Snoopy just plays it perfectly, and Boston take the advantage.
Yep. So it's a couple, again, first bloods that have not been converted for LAG. And now they're going to get a 3-1 split off. Fellow will be punished. And again, it's just, you should know the tape by now. I think everyone who's watched this Boston team of this map will know that Purge is going to do something crazy like that. But doesn't get read, and now all of a sudden LAG are a bit stuck trying to play in front of arches. Just down to Johnny, nowhere to go. Boston just flood through, get the easy win, and will put themselves in a very comfortable spot here early in the search and destroy.
And that's what the rounds look like when Purge is finding success in his style of S&D. Gets aggressive, finds that first blood, sets up the teammates to play the trades over through courtyard. At that point, you know that you have them isolated on this side of the map. We just keep on flying on in with the numbers advantage. Are able to secure these rounds with ease. 3 in a row now for Boston. And if you are LAG, this is sort of like, well, you just have to slow down the game because Boston are doing whatever they want, just running at you. You're gifting it to them.
100%. And again, they found first blood in the majority of the rounds, just not quite able to hold on as we get a mid stripe kill feed over the top of the B point. Kismet still a little bit deeper, and wow, just a mixy battle again. That's just one of those things that I keep talking about. When you watch the teams that have been most successful on this map, you look at like your Miamis, your Atlantas, we just don't see rounds like this. And I don't know why that is, and why, you know, Boston and LIG continue to try to just run at each other the way that they are, but it's chaos here, Jay.
Yeah, so far it's worked out 2 times now for LAG. That's sort of like the way they like to play it over towards this B site. It was the opening defense, so Lunas finds that double through the B site. That time they send everyone through the courtyard again, and are able to walk out on top of the engagements. It's able to stop the bleeding. Now going back on the attacking side, where realistically you're just looking for where Purge is going to be. This time he's going to play it a little bit safer. Has Cammy watching over him with the trophy system to keep him alive, but a lot of attacks getting invested on this side. The rotation, the comms are coming in for Boston. Yeah,
and again, the island player often has been Cammy over the top of this A site. Our CXD has also been earned. That will be spent late, just as a way to get Boston even further forward past this A site, and Fellow's not prepared for that timing. Taken down by Purge. Kismet trying to flip the script by maybe trying to break this defense over the middle of the map, but he's been seen and that play is no longer available.
He just keeps on running. You know, Boston is on the hunt. Where the hell did Kismet go? But now they locate him. Bomb is going to be down. Johnny, last man standing. He gets taken care of. And Boston right now on their defensive setups can currently do no wrong. They gain the info. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of attacks getting invested towards his A side. Cammy, get your trophy down. I got Purge just in case they get aggressive on me. But once Cammy's able to find that first blood, once all those attacks get invested, it just makes it a lot more difficult for LG to do anything else on the map, because you have no attacks to enter anywhere. Then you don't have the space on the opposite side of the map to clear it out or have the time on your side either. It's just perfectly played there from Boston.
And every defense has looked different, which I really do appreciate, I think, from the Boston side of things. Now, this has been the side of the map that has led to just absolute TDMs in one part of the map or the other. Looks like Johnny and Kismet, may want to try to stun nade and see if they can push out Awakening on the backside of the dealership, but instead going to back up as they know that Purge is playing on top of the A set with that stun that does connect onto him.
There's a trophy system down on the driveway. Cammy just trying to watch over. And it's Kismet able to strike for the first blood and get out of dodge. So now if you're Boston, you're at Awakening, potentially taking some space to the middle of the map, but with 50 seconds to go, the play has to commit over towards B, and Johnny's in a perfect position to at least find one.
Kismet was thinking about trying to take over that A elbow, but instead LAG don't want to separate themselves. Will all back up over towards the defensive spawn and just play reactionary, with Kismet in a position to idly check over the B site if he needs to at mid-map. I love this. Snoopy gets forward, has Fellow weak for a moment. Follow-up from Kismet, also weak. Pistol finish off one, but then there's follow-up help just behind him. So yeah, good stuff there from LAG, not allowing Boston to play with that same level of aggression that we've largely seen on every single one of their attacks.
Yeah, they almost caught them off guard though early into the round, because there's 3 LAG players ready for that mid-map pressure, and Purge was able to take a lot of space over towards A, but once that stun is able to connect, they get the read that the play is going to be on this side of the map. Kismet cracks the door open from the garage, finds that first blood, and then they just play their man advantage to their advantage to secure the round. Now down by 1. But this is where they truly need to lock in, because Boston have been able to find a lot of success early on through this mid-map, and already on this round, they're sending everyone through court.
Now that'll work. Just pop the door, have Lunars on a pre-aim, deals with Cammy for first blood, and this is where you just need to take a moment, take a breath. You've got great position on the map through mid. You can follow up by either taking the bomb B or A. You're just kind of like one of those dealer's choice type situations, like force Boston to have to come get you. And that's exactly what LG are trying to do, but Johnny's in trouble. And that's just a moment that, again, you're in a 4v3. We just got to do better at keeping our advantages.
Yeah, he was just trying to play his life. He didn't think that he was going to get sniffed out in that corner, and now Fellow on the rotation back to his teammates with the bomb in hand. Gets caught, and now Boston instantly have the numbers, and I love the way that they're playing this. They know we have a 3v2. We can give it the bomb plant and retake whichever side we want.
This is just such a Boston way of playing the search and destroy. Just hitting something weird at a timing that you just wouldn't expect, in a place that you just wouldn't expect. And you can see it. Yep, Purge and Snoopy behind this play. Any reactions here? No, Kismet's gonna drop. Same could be said for the last member playing inside the small room, and Boston will put themselves on map point.
It's so crazy, like how quick they are in their decisions makings. Like they isolate onto that gunfight onto Johnny, and they're like, all right, it's a 3v3. They're most likely showing a lot of presence around that mid-map area and also courtyard, so let's just push on through the A site. Thankfully, when they make that commitment, they catch Fellow with his pants down. They don't have the information that is going to be the bomb carrier, but as soon as they find that kill, it's like, all right, we're in a 3v2. Everybody back up. We'll retake something together.
Yeah.
And it works out for Boston to now be at game point.
I feel like Fellows had a really frustrating search and destroy. Just like continually getting shot from behind. Last one left, he gets caught isolated. Like it's just been such a game of timing that has not gone his way whatsoever. And how about this? Snoopy is the bomb carrier, going to allow this little man cave room over towards the top side of the map to be taken by LAG. He's aware of this because it pops the door. A couple of the shots are out, and Snoopy realizes I'm in some big trouble here and will just bail out and head back over to A, where his teammates have already pushed off Fellow again.
Yeah, it took a lot of space. Look where Purge is already at. He's gonna find that first one onto Fellow this time. 5 HP. The Dream Bomb is also gonna get planted. Trophy systems are down. And now you just got to hold in your post plant.
Yeah, Cammy off the regen, able to take over the corner. Looks for one more. That's prone. Kismet able to at least keep that player safe. But there's no follow-up there initially. It's just down to Kismet. Have to be a 1v3 and an ace to get this map a little bit further. And Purge and Awakening are essentially displaying crossfire positions. Door will pop. Awakening a couple of spray shots from the corner. Purge right there to finish it off at a very comfortable search and destroy for Boston.
Oh man, I love the play calls right there from Boston, man. To slow down some of these attacking rounds early on. They started off with the aggression through the map, but then they realized LAG are starting to try to play catch up. So they're gonna do a couple of things that potentially could throw us off guard. So in that final round, just slowing down their approach on their attack. Last time they were on that attack, it was just Purge solo-handedly trying to take space over at A, but this time they go for a 2-2 split. Snoopy gets info of at least 2 players pushed out over towards the B site. They're already taking space at A. Purge gets into aggressive angle to find that opening first blood, and as soon as you do that and you have that bomb down, that's going to be a GG. But if you are LAG, this is going to be a tough one to look at because you found 5 first bloods and you could not find a lot of successful round wins after that. That is unacceptable on a map like Dealership, where if you usually find the man advantage, you cannot let these rounds slip.
Well, in particular, it's not just that they find first bloods, it's that they find a lot of them in the very beginning of the search and destroy. Like at the beginning of the map, the first 4 rounds or so, I think they had 3 of the first bloods.
Yeah.
Not able to take down 2v4 moments is just unexcusable. And I think there is a level, again, like you look at how teams have played this map, again, talking like your Atlantas, your Thieves, your Miamis, definitely a level of like they're playing some intricate chess, and Boston's just like flip the board over. We're just going to run at you and see if we can catch you in some weird timings. And this time it does work out for them as we head back to Maven Sunday and the desk.
Game's in, and Boston is looking good, Allie. I was a little confident in my LAG pick.
I wasn't confident in it at all. But I
That's insane.
I didn't feel good. You felt good about your pick?
I felt good about Kismet today.
Oh, I didn't feel good about it.
Felt like the Bulldog was going to bite.
I just want to be different than if it was Riley Smart.
Yeah, well, it didn't work out for either of us. Let's take a look at what happened in these first 2 games. Starting with the Dealership search and destroy most recently. Allie, the dismantling. Purge first bloods. Who's doing the work?
It was all over the place. I mean, talk about search and destroy. I think the first bloods from inside of Boston Breach were great, but I mean, it wasn't even really these opening duels. It was just kind of like the decision making. I think a great example was that last round once they got the bomb down over on that A site. Like they were pushing and flooding that street out, right? Like not giving any room in the middle side of the map for LEG to push through. And then obviously Snoopy going 12-5 is going to help you. I always talk about it. Boston Breach kind of, I don't want to say live and die, but once the system is doing what they're supposed to do, it allows Snoopy to relieve so much pressure, not only off of himself, but for his teammates and play his game. And that's when you get series and maps like this.
Well, I think if you told me that Johnny was going to go like 5 and 9, Snoopy had 12 kills, I'd be real confident Breach won the map. You know how important mid-map control is, especially those SMG players that lurk around mid. Snoopy had his way. Purge had a solid map as well. Listen, Breach were the better team going in this. No questions asked. They've just been something a bit as of late. This is a team they should beat, and they're handling business now. Unfortunately for them, they just got out to such a poor start in the qualifier. Not really a chance to start winners bracket.
Unfortunately, LAG not playing the same way against every green team. It looked like they were trying a little harder yesterday.
Well, to be fair, it was the rewind when they went down 100 to Optic and came back. back and won the map. So when they were down 100 on rewind, I looked at I'm like, maybe it's going to happen again. Maybe they're going to turn on the Jets. Unfortunately, the Jets are empty of fuel and never came on.
All right, well, this is the match that kind of doesn't matter. We know both of these teams might be in the losers bracket at the start
we're getting to the next two.
major.
Yeah.
But let's jump into a game
going.
here, Allie. Before we get to a game 3, this is from our friends at BreakingPoint.com. What are we about to play?
We are about to
doing?
play a game called Gridlock. Essentially, I don't know if you guys know how this works, but
I don't.
we're going to have these 3 categories at the top, and we also have 3 hints on the left side. And essentially, you're going to line them up on this grid. So like at this top, 1+ wins, and on Toronto, we're going to guess a player. And then you move over, teamed with attached in the CDL and has 1+ wins. Same thing. It's where they're going to cross when you move those connections.
Can you read those top 3 for me? Because
Yes.
my eyes are
I got
nameless
you.
level.
So we're working with Toronto, teamed with attached in the CDL, and at least 26 years old. That's going to be our top 3 categories. Now on the left side that we have to make the match, 1+ wins. Now this is going to be like chips, events, wins.
Oh,
type
that's what
deal.
I was
Not series. Yeah,
I was thinking
thought
series.
that
I was
too.
like, what? Okay, that
Instantly
makes way
as
more
you do
sense.
that, I was like, series would be
Can I fill in the bottom left, or do I have to fill in top left first?
No, you don't. You can
that's
go wherever.
Envoy.
So this is Envoy or Scrap. This is I was thinking about this earlier. It's probably going to be Envoy or Scrap on Toronto and on LA Thieves. You want to go with Envoy first? We can go with Envoy first. I'm already spelling names wrong.
Are you good?
Yeah. Looks so weird. Okay, Envoy is right. Envoy
Nailed
is
it.
right.
All right.
Okay, that means wait.
50-50.
I'm thinking
left side.
Scrap's got to be. Has Scrap ever teamed with attached?
Wait, so it's a
No.
I see. It's a Steve's player.
Oh, and it's on. It's all of CDL, by the way. So it could be any variations of the LAD's roster in the CDL era, and any variation of the Toronto.
Can I fill in the Toronto England? I'm gonna go with Jamie here. It's not Beans.
Insight? Oh,
We're going
I have to click
Insight
that, excuse
first.
me. Going Insight. Insight's correct.
Bam! I'm on fire. All right, let's do this.
Okay. One more on Toronto. He has a chip. That means it's got to be Kleenex, right?
He's only got
Kleenex
one
or
plus.
Scrap.
Does that say 1+?
Wait, can there be repeats or not? Can't be repeats.
No repeats.
No repeats.
Yeah, let's go Kleenex.
You're gonna go Kleenex? Okay,
Yeah,
we're
probably
gonna go
Kleenex.
Kleenex. Whoa,
Yeah.
we're 3 for 3.
Okay,
Up top,
nice shot,
gang.
nice shot. I haven't done anything,
Top
by the way.
gang,
I've done nothing.
gang. Okay, we're gonna come back to this later. We're 3 for 3 right now.
The whole time I've been thinking about the
three.
thieves attached one.
We're going to finish out the other 6 boxes. Chat, do you like this game? You can play right now. BreakingPoint.com.
Wait,
For
that's
now, though,
fun.
it's time
I
for
like
the
that.
pro
Fun.
players. They are live in game number 3. Shift and study on the mic.
Yay! Hey, guys.
Round of applause to BreakingPoint.gg. That is, I mean, I know that. Well, I actually remember you guys were doing this in Saudi Arabia last year, like trying to put them all together on the bus when we were going from the venue and stuff. Super cool idea. So kudos to BreakingPoint.gg. I got to get on that.
Those things take forever, though, bro. I'm telling you, like they only got 3 answers. They needed a total of 9. If you're not super locked for those things, if you're not timed, at least you could be there all day. But I expect us, when we come back out, once the series is done, they're gonna fill in those boxes. But enough of that. Let's get back into this series because Boston are looking completely different. They have been all stage long. They're currently up 2-0, which they haven't been all stage long. And now you have a chance to go for a 3-0 and win a control, which you haven't done all stage long. Let's see if they can do it here, Alan.
I mean, that's kind of the story for both teams, though, when it comes to winning a control, because it's been nothing but a drought for LAG since like the beginning of Major 3 quals. Hacienda has not been kind to this Boston team, not lately, not in this stage. They've played it 4 out of their 5 attempts now through the qualifiers, and all 3 that they've played to this point were 1-3 losses. And if you kind of just reflect and remember back, I can think of a multitude of times where Boston just can't get out of spawn. Their breakoffs had just been punished so much by some of their top teams that they've played against this qualifier stage. And that's been the biggest point here for Boston is, I know I said it a lot last stage, they had a really easy qualifier schedule, and it's not been the case here. They have played a juggernaut of a schedule, and you can kind of see, for LAG, it hasn't necessarily been unique to their camp either, because they've also played a very tough schedule since the roster moves, and it has not benefited them much in control.
Yeah, this is only for stage 4, so their record is sitting at 0-9. I mean, even if you did this from stage 3, they've been sitting at 1-9 overall, which is not very good. Their attacking side is abysmal. They can't really figure out how to get kills as a squad. A .79 KD in control. You're only averaging 1.3 ticks on your attacking rounds. That means basically if you're going to round 5s, you're the team guaranteed on offense. But a majority of your controls, you're barely going to round 5 because you haven't been able to figure it out in the slaying department, and the same thing could be said for Boston. So far for this stage, dead last, 0-4, 20% round win percentage. Defenses are abysmal. Average 6 on the defenses which they're giving up is 5. Nothing is going right for either one of these squads. You just gotta get your kills, and you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, and I think just kind of reflecting on this Boston team, you know, not just with what they've done, you know, in their qualifier run from last stage, or how they've started here, or even like the isolated moments you look at them when they've beaten like LA Thieves, for instance, on day 1 of a major. It just continues to be the situation of, if you can't find consistency in search and control, you're going to be subject to getting absolutely ran through by the top 4 teams in the league. Maybe you catch them, one of the 2 of them off on a bad day, but for the most part, it's just been a little bit too hit or miss, I think, for this Boston team across the 2, 3, 5 throughout this entirety of the season. So need to kind of figure that out and try to find that form that they had at the beginning of Major 3 quals, when they actually looked really solid on control for the first time this season. See what they can do. And they're going to be on the offense here to kick us off.
Yeah, they went undefeated in control in that stage, and that was because everyone had stepped up tremendously. The ARs were slaying, the SMGs were finessing their life, but obviously going into this stage, you have a little bit more of a tougher schedule where you're playing some of the top teams that we have in the mode, and they've been able to make you look very, very easy. But so far into this round, you go split in the gunfights, 2 for 2. LG walk out on top in the numbers. And now if you're Boston, at least you still got Cammy stalling out time here at B.
Yeah, Snoopy, quick route back up to office. So even though Cammy will drop, maybe a chance for Snoopy to cause a distraction for the defense, but he's quickly traded by Kismet. Good read from Johnny onto Awakening, and wow, okay, a little bit more than maybe Fellow could bite off there, but still finds the win. And again, the break off for LAG, solid. Good response to the initial attempt for Boston.
Yeah, not a single segment earned yet on the side of Boston, but a lot of map control. They can just find a couple kills to go their way. They can get something done. Thankfully, Awakening through the mid-map is able to find it. Double Snoopy stalling the game clock here at B. Just finessing, hoping for his teammates to eventually get back into the play, but now he's going to get isolated, and LAG shut them down again.
Yeah, I like this, though, from Awakening. Put a little bit of pressure over the top at A. Try to move around the back. He does have an SMG to play with. Has to wait for help, though. Split spawn situation for Boston, and Fellow gets the read towards that back office stairs, turns that into another at the front. Doors and Purge can do nothing to get on towards B, so LAG is starting to run away with his defensive side, as you've got streaks for Lunars, possible streaks for Fellow starting to build. And Boston, kind of like we mentioned at the setup of this map, they are subject to being spawn trapped, and that's starting to come through again.
Yeah, they just can't find any success in the kill department. Already losing the 2 initial gunfights. Now Snoopy is going to get isolated. They're surrounded by the players wearing the purple bright.
Wow.
With only 3 seconds left, you're not going to earn a single segment here, and Purge also is going to earn a kill on that opening round. LAG dominate on the opening defense.
Yeah, Fellow able to get some of that frustration from the search and destroy out there at the end. 6 in a row, getting it done with the SMG and a couple of tight little, not really full turn and burn moments, but 1v2s to try to avoid getting traded for sure. So that's nice to see from Ty, and an opportunity to see if they can carry that long streak into maybe a Hellstorm and something to kind of get your offense going here early in the second round.
Oh yeah, realistically, all you got to do is get a couple segments. Like, you were able to shut out Boston on their opening offense, so that was just, let's set up a good team push. The break off needs to go in our favor if you want to have the best chance of earning any early segments. Now you got trophy system, make your well approach a little bit easier. Fellow on 6 in a row, Lunars on 5. And they're going to take actually a different approach on this.
Yeah.
We're going to take Roth control. I've never seen this kind of break off before.
No, me neither. And you can see Boston are going to say, all right, well, I guess that works. I mean, if you're going to take everyone down towards fences, getting back into the hallway is not easy to do. Fellow's streak will end, but Lunars doesn't. He's on 7 in a row. First tick of progress looking pretty much like a guarantee onto A, unless someone like Purge from the low ground can clear off both, and he does. That first tick not fully locked. Kismet waiting for the timing to at least jump on and secure it, and he'll be able to do at least that.
Oh, thankfully that first segment got locked, because I thought it was everything that you just did turned out to be basically perfect on the break off. And I thought you were going to get nothing from it, but at least you secure that 1 segment. But now with 50 seconds to go, Kismet's still the farthest player pushed on out. He's trying to look for an opening kill, but everyone else on the side of Boston are just playing a conga line in your spawn.
Yeah, a little bit of a backpedal here from Boston, just trying to contest the time here on the B point. Kismet in some trouble and loses the first gunfight to Cammy. Johnny able to come back through to keep the play alive, but he's by himself, and Purge is right there to work on that crossfire. So again, opening break off from LAG. different, definitely unique to be sure. Gets him at least one tick at A, but any attempt towards B has been absolutely suffocated by Boston.
Oh yeah, now you stand no chance on this round. Only 25 seconds to go. Fellow has a little bit of presence here towards top hallway, but does not have the numbers to play with, and Cammy still gunning. Slides, locates him. Find a player to find was Johnny. Now everyone off of the respawn, and LAG with only 10 seconds to go. Need to put the game clock at a pause. Looks like Kismet might have slipped by to at least touch B for now.
Yeah, still a couple of Boston defenders nearby though. And with the life lead where it is, you just want to make sure no one else can try to join Kismet on the point. Here comes the jump out. Snoopy gets the kill. Last attempt would have to come from Johnny. He finds the first nicely, but there's no chance he wins that gunfight versus Awakening. So Lunars will be the last chance with 3.3 on the clock. Trying to keep something going over towards A. It pulls the focus around a touch here for Boston, so maybe a chance for Fellow to get one more segment before this round likely comes to an end, and that will be the case. So 2 ticks of total progress earned, but still, I would give an edge to Boston just in how they played that defense. That was still pretty solid.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid defense to manage that opening break off, because that definitely caught me off guard, and it definitely catches the players off guard. You're expecting pressure through Seeker. You're expecting the pressure through Well. But that time LAG, a little bit different of a show off. Made at least secure 2 segments on that round, and Boston was still able to stabilize after that. Now you're looking to make up here. This next one, by 2. Break off wasn't the best. Hopefully we can turn that around here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily say like the break off was miserable. It was just getting through the 50-yard line of the map onto a point never really came through, because like you weren't able to get office and the zone, or you only had the zone, or you only had office, and it just was very difficult for Boston to stay alive on the B point. So see what they can do this time around. Trophy system to allow them over through the archway. But Kismet, that is a big first win. Awakening able to get the trade, but you can see what LAG is doing on the minimap, just trying to get the high ground control back into play, as Boston will at least stabilize some sort of an effort on the B point, stopping the clock.
Yeah, it's a 2v2 right now. Purge is trying to keep Snoopy alive. Snoopy knows that there's pressure in towards 10, but the wall bang's good enough to take care of Snoop, and Purge falls at the same time. So now Cammy working on this pinch, trying to find an opening for his team. He's getting the comms from Awakening that there's a lot of pressure through top secret. Let me just set up a free pinch. That's already 3 dead in the feed. Last player to find is going to be Johnny, and he's trying to time this repinch from Well at the right time.
Yeah, they know that he's behind him, but look at number 5. Purge is just going to watch this cross through Boathouse, and he's got an AR to work with. Takes care of Kismet. Can't finish off the kill on the Lunars, but Cammy knows how to keep his gun up. And yeah, now Johnny just has to make his play. Snoopy's ready for him, and that will be a very easy B point with that little split focus with Purge watching the cross the entire way while the stack was in play.
Purge now has office control and almost finds that second kill onto Lunars. That would have been a massive one, so you can chain that potentially over towards the B point, but now you got Snoopy filling in that gap. At least finds a double to alleviate the pressure of your teammates coming off of the respawn, with Awakening now got his hands full on the opposite side.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble for Awake. Steps away, trying to pass the baton with Purge. Little stun off. No, not going to happen. Johnny able to find the kill. Cammy going to try to re-wrap on, put the trade onto him, and that will work. 16 plays 18, though. Boston, a mere life advantage of 2. But most importantly, after these kind of weird, stringy 1v1v1 situations in the gunfights, LAG are still trying to play forward to put pressure on the Boston spawn, and finally Kismet's able to find a kill to make that worthwhile.
Yeah, thankfully Kismet is just finessing around their spawn. His teammates weren't finding a lot of success off of the respawn, and now this falls into the hands of Kismet again. You gotta wrap back and try to assist your teammate to get some office control. Game clock was currently going to be at a pause, but Boston still with the live advantage. Just want to keep on playing trades.
And Kismet, good read here on Awakening. Lunar is right there with them to work for the team shots. 2 life advantage still what is in play for Boston, but Johnny shuts down the fireplace hallway, and now he can start to get to work. Yep, doing just this, moving the spawns around a little bit and seeing if you can just get this clock bled out without any more segments getting ticked up.
Yeah. And with 30 seconds to go, Johnny might have set this up to be a round closing play.
Yeah.
Gonna set up the re-pinch through bottom spiral, finds a freebie, gives the comms to his teammates. There has to be one more at least on out. But that's already 3 dead. 3 players coming off the respawn. And now it's Snoopy just single-handedly trying to get something done on the opposite side. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's an opportunity. 3 dead, trying to play that top spiral spawn trap. Snoopy's able to get on to stop the clock at 11.9. Awakening 1v1 with Fellow. waiting for help. They find the kill. Now you can get back over and really put your focus onto the 8 point. Purge off the pinch, able to find one. Team shots are good for another. Second tick of progress looking likely. 5v4 may be the determining factor of how this round ends, though. And LAG are stuck. They're trying to play over towards connector. There's a second tick of progress. You've got to go. You've got to chail this. The pinch is on. Awakening able to keep the play up, but it's a 3v3 with 8 seconds left.
And they still know that there's at least one more in connector. 6.5 seconds. Lunar's able to find the kill. Awakening with the trade. Someone's got to get on it.
Last 1v1 though, and the kill comes through right at the end. Last couple of seconds. The pressure was there as LAG were able to keep the clock moving, but just not enough lives to have that be win condition and Boston get the offense.
Yeah, that is disgusting if you're LAG. Like, what are we doing? Like, why do we have to commit on these gunfights right here? Because we know we're still looking for at least one player in our spawn. But the fact that you allow the players that are coming off the respawn to be more impactful than the guy that was still alive is unbelievably detrimental. That cannot happen if you're LG. Someone's just got to camp a corner, value your life a little bit more, because Boston were able to find 3 kills and sync and instantly put the game clock at a pause because Snoopy, the only player out, jumps on the objective. LAG are going to be beating themselves up for that one, but now you got to potentially win back-to-back offenses here.
Yeah, that's just a state of a game lack of awareness moment. It's like there's only 30 seconds left. You don't have to play for full spawn kills. Like, just make sure they don't get on the zone. Huge mistake by LAG, trying to make up for it here as they're right back over towards the A zone with a different look. They don't get that first tick of progress though. And Cammy's actually going to stay on, fully deplete it, and Boston have done a really nice job of clearing out all the effort through mid and can take their focus back over to B.
They know that they have the numbers advantage. Fellow eventually is going to be trapped between a rock and a hard place, and now Johnny's going to decide to move and instantly get spotted by Cammy. So now the players off for the respawn for Boston. We're not going to really put focus on him. They're like, all right, cool. You can stay back here. It's fine. You can win the one-on-one gunfight. We got everybody else trapped in their spawn.
Yeah, this is a point of view that's just going to be Johnny trying to pull the defense back. And this may allow some of that to happen. First tick looking good, but Boston, again, just do not care. Trying to keep LAG in the spawn trap, and they've done a nice job at that to this point. They also get Johnny off the point simultaneously. He's only able to get 1 tick of progress done, and you've got a 5-life lead with only 40 seconds to defend if you're Boston.
And a lot of map control to go with it. Awakening already spot. Couple players working their way through bottom secret. That first segment does get locked in at A, but time continues to dwindle on down. Boston is just trying to play the trades. You turn it into a one-on-one. Lunar is able to pulse it at the B point, but now it's on Cammy to just keep them in their spawn.
Yep. Trust that your teammates off their spawn can just overwhelm the one member here. And that is what the game plan looks to be. Lunars will drop, and now you're in the last 30 seconds of LAG potentially playing online for the rest of the year. 20v14. Cammy in the back just trying to keep pressure on DeFellow. He will fall. Last one left alive that really could make a play towards B is Kismet, but instead decides to jump back over to A. And he's got some pretty quick help here, to be fair. Awakening off the pinch, doesn't see Kismet in the corner, and hold on a second. 13 plays 15, and that's going to be an extra 60 seconds with the A zone being captured.
Oh, LAG with the late round heroics. Able to extend time. I've secured those segments there at that A point and already find himself in a good transition over towards B. They're just looking for 1 wave of kills, and Johnny and Luna's already find 2.
Yeah, Lunas wants more than that. He finds the 3rd. Purge, last one left from the front, only able to find 1. Double stack is in for LAG. Second tick of progress should be good. Trophy system is in play right now for LAG with maybe another to be thrown if they need it. Cammy just dives on in though, finds the first. Kismet there to supply. At least the support in the stack is good. LAG will push us to a 5th round.
And they are the team on defense. Toss off of the segments that they were able to secure there. Was a shutout in round number 1. You were able to get 2, so you're going to be the team to set up properly on this defense, and hopefully you don't throw away that same situation that you just had away again. You want to try to force this snap number 4, but just a late round heroics. They know that their final push has to be committed over towards A. I feel like Boston were playing too antsy in that situation because Awakening, he just found an insane opening through rock. He spots someone going through hallway, but doesn't take his time in his approach to try to take down those players in towards A. And then once he falls, the stack goes in, and then LG with the map control just able to hit the rotation over to extend the game. And now Boston have to figure it out on their attack again.
Same break off though here for Boston. LAG gonna give it some respect. Kids are just gonna play on the brick wall heady. Help from Fellow up top. Good opening shots from Cammy. Not enough to find the kill, but it allows Purge to surely surely take care of it. And now you've got 2 down. There's the third. Should allow at least a double stack on to B for some early success on the zone.
Yeah, and Johnny's looking for a spawn kill on at least one player. I would have liked him to come back into that play because, you know, even if you get this one kill, it's not going to be very impactful. You don't have the man advantage, and you're going up against Awakening, who's going to check every single corner. So Johnny does absolutely nothing with his life there, and now his teammates are going to feel the repercussions of it. B is going to be done and dusted, and now Boston have a 5 life advantage with 2 minutes to work with.
Yeah, I really love that little micro moment from Snoopy's perspective. Diving out of tin as one player. He doesn't finish the kill, but he knows that there's more there, and he's able to allow the successful capture to come through, trusting that his teammates will find the follow-up eliminations, which they do. Purge stops LAG from getting forward on their defense. Minute 50 in the clock, but again, the big difference here is in the life count. 25 v 19. Purge seen and dealt with, but maybe opens the door for Snoopy to get a read on where this LAG defense is, and he wants to hunt him out.
He's like, come here, come here, come here. I know you have an AR, fellow. I'm going to commit on the gunfight. He wins the one-on-one. The AR's find every other kill on the map. And now this is where you just got to stack. Second segment already locking. I don't know if LG are going to be in the play.
It's going to be a mad dash to try to get their way back in. Purge trying to play on top of the vines, but it's Awakening to line them all up for 3. Pistoling on the corner. Can't touch in time for the contest. And Boston will close things out in convincing form. 3-2 in the control, but a relatively comfortable across the board 3-0 to get their win versus LAG.
Yeah, it's got to feel good if you're Boston Breach. Finally a W. Here is stage 4. Add that one to the tally right alongside of the Optic Texas win. But this one you got to be feeling good about because you did it on the opening hard point where obviously you're trying to add a third one to the mix. You dominate on the rewind. You get to the dealership search and destroy where it can basically be 50-50, and you're also able to not really find a lot of success in the first bloods, but still find a lot of success in your clutching rounds to dominate there.
Yeah.
And for a Hacienda control, which was their bread and butter, their go-to all throughout stage 3, you were walking into this one on a 3-game losing streak. Couldn't really figure it out in the slaying, but that's where everyone just stepped up tremendously. Everyone had their moments. They were able to clutch up on not 1, but 2 offensive rounds.